Yeah.
paragraph page 764.
Hmm.
Okay, and our last headword
Hmm.
was, let me check. The headword is triangle, newer type of
Yes.
lesson.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, let me just check. Five. Okay, here we go. Would you
Hmm.
get complaints from your neighbors if you turn up your TV very loud?
Hmm.
Would you
Hmm.
get complaints from your neighbors if you turn up your TV very loud? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'd get
I did
complaints
get
from
complaints
my neighbors
from my
if I
neighbors
turn up
if I
my
turn up
TV very
my
loud.
TV very loud.
Very good. Have you ever made an official complaint? Have you ever
Hmm.
made an official complaint? Yes or no?
No.
I've never made
I've never
an
made
official
an
complaint.
official complaint.
Very good. Are the students sitting on either side? Are there any students sitting on either side of you? Are there students sitting on either side of you? Yes or no?
No.
There aren't
There
students
are students
sitting on either
sitting
side
on
of
either
me.
side of me.
Very good. What's the difference between the words what and which? What's the difference between the word what and which? The difference
The
between
difference
the
between
words what
the
and
words what
which.
and which
It's that we
is that
generally use
we
which
generally use which
when we are
when we
considering
are
a
considering
limited
a
number
limited
of
number
alternatives,
of alternatives,
whereas we use
whereas
what
we use
in a
what
more
in
unlimited
a more
sense.
unlimited sense.
Give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. What's your
Please,
address?
what's your address?
Which address
Which
should I
address?
send the letter
Should
to?
I send a letter to?
Your home address
Your home
or
address
work address?
or work address?
Very good. What do people do when a faint smell of burning reaches their noses? What do people do when a faint smell of burning reaches their noses? When a
Hmm.
faint smell
When a faint
of
smell
burning
of burning
reaches people's
reaches
noses,
people's
they
notice
try to find
to
out
try to find out
where it's coming
where
from.
it's coming from.
Very good. Why do people faint? Why do people faint? People faint
People faint
because of
because
excessive heat,
of excessive heat,
excitement, fear,
excitement,
pain,
fear,
etc.
pain, etc.
Very good. Give me an example of happen to. Give me an example of the word happen to, please. I happen to know
I happen to know
several people.
about people.
Or more, I happen to know
I happen to know
several people
several people
who work for that
who work
company.
that company.
When you happen to see someone you know on the street, but it's someone that you don't particularly want to speak to,
Mm,
what do you do? When
mm,
you happen to see someone you know on the street, but it's someone that you don't particularly want to speak to, what do you do? When
mm.
I happen
When I
to see
happen
someone
to see
I
someone
know on the street,
I know on the
but
street,
it's someone
but it's
that
someone
I don't
that I
particularly
don't
want
particularly
to speak to,
want to speak to.
I
I pretend what I don't notice him.
very good. Next, does your front door open outwards or inwards? Does your front door open outwards or inwards? My front door
My front door
opens
open outwards.
outwards. Very good. Okay, next, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're leaning on the
You are
wall.
leaning on the wall.
Why does the Leaning Tower of Pisa lean? Why does the
Mm.
Leaning Tower of Pisa lean? The Leaning Tower
The
of
leaning
Pisa
tower of
leans
Pisa lean
because the
because
ground beneath,
sorry
the ground
because
beneath
the ground
one
beneath
side
on
has
side
given way,
and the living way
has given way.
has given way
Very good. What do we mean by mankind? What do we mean by mankind? By mankind,
by
we
mankind.
mean all the people.
All
We
the
mean
people,
all the people in the world
all the people in the
in
world
general.
in general.
Very good. What's an informal word we can use instead of friend? What's
Mm,
an informal word we can use instead of friend? An
mm.
informal
An
word we
informal
can
word
use
we can use
instead of friend
instead of
is
friend
mate.
is mate.
Very good. What would you do if you're looking at a tiger in a zoo and suddenly notice that its
Mm,
cage was slightly open? What
mm,
would you do if you were looking at a tiger in a zoo and
mm,
suddenly noticed that its cage was slightly open?
mm.
If I was looking
If I was
at a
looking
tiger in a
at a
zoo
tiger in the
and
zoo
suddenly
and then
noticed
suddenly
that
noticed
its
that
cage
its
was
cage
slightly open,
was slightly open,
I'd
I informed the zookeeper about that.
very good. Which are more closely related to humans, apes or monkeys? Which are
Hmm.
more closely related to humans, apes or monkeys?
Hmm.
Apes are
Apes
more
are
closely
more closely
related to human
related to human
than monkeys.
than monkeys.
Very good. What does the idiom snap decision mean? What does the idiom snap decision mean? The idiom
The
snap
idiom
decision
snap
means
decision
a
means
quick decision,
a quick decision.
fast, like the
First,
snap
like the snap
of one's
of
fingers.
one's finger.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Although it
Although
was a snap
it was a
decision,
snap decision,
it was the right one.
it was the right one.
Very good. Can you give me some further examples of the word so? Can you give me some further examples of the word so, please? Some further
Some
examples
further
of the
examples
word so
of the word so
are
are,
he said the
he
train
said,
had
the
left,
train had
but
left,
it was not
but
so.
it was not so.
So you've got a
So
new job.
that at your job,
I hear.
I hear
It so happens
it how
I
happens.
have just the
I
thing
have just the
you
thing
are looking for.
you are looking
I
for.
told you so. We,
I
s-
told you so.
we spent too
We
long
spent too
in the
long
restaurant,
in the
and
restaurant,
now
and
we've
now
missed
we miss
the last bus home.
the last bus home.
Very good. What do we get when ice melts? What do we get when ice melts? We get water
We get
when
water
ice
when
melts.
ice melt.
Very good. Has my job got anything to do with art? Has my job got anything to do with art? No.
No,
Your job
your
has
job
got nothing to
has
do
got nothing to do
with art.
with art.
Very good. If you interfered in a private matter that had nothing to do with you, what might
Mm,
somebody say to you? If
mm.
you interfered in a private matter that had nothing to do with you, what might somebody say to you? If I
If
interfered
I interfere
in a private
in the
matter
private
that
matter
had nothing
that had
to
nothing
do with me,
to do with me,
somebody might say,
somebody might say,
mind your own business.
mind your own business.
Very good. Why do people sometimes pick at their food? Why do people sometimes pick at their food? People sometimes
People
pick
sometimes
at their food
pick at the food
because they
because
aren't very
they
hungry
are very hungry
or they don't like
or they don't
the
like
food very much.
the food very
Very
much.
good. Do you find it hard to pick out the right clothes to wear when you're going to a party? Do you find
Mm.
it hard to pick out the right clothes to wear when you're going to a party? Yes or no?
Yes.
I find it hard
I find it
to
hard
pick out
to pick
the
out
right clothes
the
to
right
wear
clothes to
when
wear
I'm going
when I'm
to a
going
party.
to a party.
Reggie, do you think most people in your country regard pollution as a serious problem? Do you think
Mm.
most people in your country regard pollution as a serious problem? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think most
I think
people
most
in
people
my country
in my country
regard pollution
regard
as
pollution
a serious problem.
as a serious problem.
Reggie, when we want to send our greeting to somebody through a third person, what do we say? When we want to send our greetings to somebody through a third person, what do we say? When we want
When we
to
want
send our
to send
greetings
our
to
greetings
somebody
to somebody
through a third
through
person,
a third
we
person,
say,
we
give my
say,
regards
give
to.
my regards to.
Very good. What do we say when we greet someone in the street? What do we say
Mm.
when we greet someone in the street? When we greet
When
someone
we greet
in
someone
the street,
in the
we say
street,
hello,
we say
good
hello,
evening,
good
etc.
evening, etc.
And what do we say when we leave someone? And what do we say when we leave someone? When we leave someone,
We leave someone,
one more. When we leave
we
someone,
leave someone,
we say goodbye,
we say goodbye,
bye bye,
bye bye,
see ya,
see ya,
cheers, etc.
cheers, etc.
Very good. Which flower do you think gives off the nicest scent?
Mm.
Which flower do you think gives off the nicest scent? I
Mm.
think the
I think the rose
gives off the
gives up
nicest scent.
the nicest sense.
Very good. What does somebody mean when they open their front door and say welcome to a visitor? What does
Mm.
somebody mean when they open their front door and say welcome to a visitor? When somebody
When
opens
somebody
their
opens
front door
the front door
and say welcome
and say
to a
welcome
visitor,
to a
they
visitor,
mean
they
that they
mean
are
that
happy
they are
to
happy
invite the
to
visitor
invite the visitor
in their home.
in their home.
Weged, when was the last time you went to an airport to welcome a friend or relative?
Mm.
When was the last time you went to an airport to welcome a friend or relative? The last time
The last
I
time
went to
I
an
went
airport
to an
to
airport
welcome a
to
friend
welcome a friend
or relative
or
was
relatives was 3 months ago.
very good. When things don't go right, what do you do? Lose your temper or just become very quiet and thoughtful? When things don't go right, what do you do? Lose your temper or just become very quiet and thoughtful? When things
When
don't go
things
right,
don't go right,
I
I so just so
become very quiet
become very quiet
and
and
thoughtful.
thoughtful.
Very good. What do we do with what food that has gone bad? What do
Hmm.
we do with food that has gone bad? We throw away
We
food
throw away food
that has gone
that
bad.
has gone bad.
Very good. What kind of things put you in a bad temper? What kind of
Hmm.
things put you in a bad temper? The kind of
The
things
kind of
that
temper
put me
that put me
in a bad
in the
temper
bad
are
temper. So when so things go wrong,
mhm,
and
and
so the higher temperature.
I am very hot. Very good. Would you say that generally speaking, women were more sweet tempered than men? Would you say that generally speaking, women were more sweet tempered than men? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't say
I wouldn't
that
say
generally
that
speaking,
generally speaking,
women were
women
more sweet
were
tempered
more sweet tempered
than men.
than men.
Regid, if you had left for Scotland 10 hours ago, would you have
Hmm.
arrived there by now? If you had left for Scotland
Hmm.
10 hours ago, would you have arrived there by now? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I left
if I
for
left
Scotland
for Scotland
10 hours ago,
10 hours
I'd
ago,
have arrived
I'd have
there
arrived
by
there
now.
by now.
Very good. What kind of sign do we see on the side of the road that warns us that there's danger ahead? What kind of sign do we see on the side of the road that warns us that there's danger ahead?
Hmm.
The kind of
The
sign
kind of
we
sign
see on
we
the
see
side of the
on the
road
side of the road
that warns
that
us
warns
that
us
there's
that
danger
there's
ahead
danger
is
ahead
usually
is
a red
usually
triangle
a red
with a
triangle
picture of
with
the
a picture
danger in the
of the
middle.
danger in the
If,
middle.
for example,
If, for example,
there is a
there
dangerous
is a
bend
dangerous
ahead,
bend ahead,
there will be a
there
line
would be a
in a
line
shape
in
of
the
a
shape
dangerous bend
of the dangerous bend
inside the triangle.
inside the triangle.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Let's
Hmm.
have new work.
Okay, yeah.
Very good. Okay, repeat. Mercy.
Mercy.
Very good. Okay, listen. Mercy is a noun. It means kindness towards a person, especially an enemy who is in one's power. Mercy. For example,
Hmm.
the king showed mercy to his enemies because he didn't have them killed, no matter
Hmm.
how cruel his enemies were.
Hmm.
Let's practice.
Okay.
In ancient history, did the
Hmm.
conquerors of a country usually show mercy to the people of the country they had
Hmm.
conquered? In ancient history, did the conquerors of a country usually show mercy to the people of the country they had conquered?
Uh,
No. In
no.
ancient
In
history,
ancient
the
history,
conquerors
the
of a
conquerors
country
of country
didn't usually
didn't
show
usually
mercy
show
to the
mercy
people
to the
of the
people
country
of the
that
country
they had
that
conquered.
they had conquered.
Very good. Let's repeat. Desire.
Desire.
Very good. Okay, listen. Desire is a noun. It is similar to the word wish. For
Hmm.
example, I had a wish to go to Paris. Or we can say, I
Hmm.
had a desire to go to Paris.
Hmm.
Let's practice. What's a similar word for to wish? What's a similar word to wish? A similar word
A
to
similar word
wish
to
is
wish
desire.
is desire.
Very good. Do you have any great desire to travel around the world at some point in your life? Do you have any great desire to travel around the world at
Uh,
some point in your life? Yes or no? I
yes.
have a great
I have a
desire
great
to
desire
travel
to
around the
travel
world
around the
at
world
some point
at some
in my
point
life.
in my life.
Very good. Next, repeat. Ignore.
Ignore.
Very good. Listen, ignore is a verb. It means to
Hmm.
not give attention to something. For
Hmm.
example, when driving a car and saw a
Hmm.
sign danger ahead, but just ignore it and went on, I'll have an
Hmm.
accident.
Hmm.
Okay, let's practice. If you develop an ache in your lower back that would not
Hmm.
go away, would you ignore it or go to the doctor? If you
Hmm.
develop an ache in your lower back that would not go away, would you ignore it or go to the doctor?
Hmm.
If I develop
If
an
I
ache
develop an ache
in my lower back
in my lower
that
back
would not go
that would
away,
not go away,
I'd
I go to the doctor.
very good. Next, repeat upright,
Upright,
lung,
lung,
Organ.
Organ.
Very good. Okay, listen. Upright is an adjective. It means positioned to be straight up. For example,
Hmm.
I'm standing or I'm sitting in an upright position.
Hmm.
Organ is a noun. It is the part of the body that has a particular function. Lung is
Hmm.
a noun. It is either one of the two organs that people and animals use to breathe air. For
Hmm.
example, he, f- he filled his lungs with a clean, fresh air.
Hmm.
Let's practice.
Okay.
Why is it healthier to sit and walk upright rather than with one's head and shoulders bent forward? Why is it healthier to sit and walk
Hmm.
upright rather than with one's head and shoulders bent forward? The reason
Then
it's
listen.
healthier to
It's
sit
healthier
and walk
to sit there
upright
upright
rather than
rather
with
than
one's head
with
and
one's head
shoulders
and
bent
shoulders
forward
bent
is
forward.
that the
Is
lungs
that
and other
lungs
organs
and other
of the
organs
body
of the
are not
body
pressed
are
against
not
each
pressed
other
against each other
and with an
and
upright
with
back.
an upright
The
back.
blood moves
The blood
more
moves
freely
more
in the
freely
body
in the
and the
body,
person
and the
feels
person
less
feels
tired.
less tired.
Very good. Next repeat, seldom.
Seldom.
Very good. Question. Seldom is an adverb. It is another word for rarely.
Hmm.
The difference between seldom and rarely is that seldom is more formal than the word rarely. For
Hmm.
example, it doesn't often rain in Spain. It
Hmm.
seldom rains in Spain.
Hmm.
Let's practice.
Okay.
What's another word for rarely? What's another
Hmm.
word for rarely? Another word
Another
for
word
rarely
for
is
really
seldom.
is seldom.
What's the difference between seldom and rarely? What's the difference between seldom and rarely? The difference
The
between
difference between
seldom and rarely
seldom and
is that
really
seldom
is that
is a
seldom
more
is
formal
a
word
more formal word
than rarely.
than really.
Does it often rain in the south of Spain? Does it often rain in the south of Spain?
Hmm.
No, it
No,
doesn't often
it
rain
doesn't often
in
rain
the south of
in the
Spain.
south of
It
Spain.
seldom rains.
It seldom rains.
Very good. Next, repeat workout.
Work out.
Very good. Okay, listen. Workout is a phrasal verb. To
Hmm.
work out means to find an answer to something. For
Hmm.
example, Sherlock Holmes is a very good detective. He had worked out many cases. Let's
Hmm.
practice.
Okay.
Work out this problem, please. What gets wetter while it's drying? Work out
Hmm.
this problem, please. What gets wetter while it's drying? The
Hmm.
answer
The
is a
answer
towel.
is a towel.
Very good. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm working out
I'm
a
working out
problem.
a
Problem.
problem.
Very good. Next, repeat confusion.
Confusion.
Electrical.
Electrical.
Very good. Okay, listen. Electrical is an adjective.
Hmm.
It means relating to electricity. For
Hmm.
example, my father has kept some electrical products in the garage.
Hmm.
Confusion is a noun. It is when we are not sure about what to do or not able to understand something clearly. For
Hmm.
example, the instruction booklet that comes with electrical products sometimes contains so much details that they
Hmm.
simply cause confusion.
Hmm.
No, let's practice. Do you agree that the instruction booklet that comes with electrical products sometimes contains so much details that they simply
Hmm.
cause confusion? Do you agree that
Hmm.
the instruction booklets that come with electrical products sometimes
Uh,
contain so much details that they simply cause confusion? Yes or no?
yes,
I agree
I
that
agree
the
that
instruction
the
booklets
instruction booklets
that come
that
with
come
electrical
with
products
electrical products
sometimes contain
sometimes
so much
contains
details
so much
that they
details
simply
that
cause
they simply cause
confusion.
confusion,
Confusion.
confusion,
Very good. Next, repeat advance.
advance,
Step by step.
step by step,
Progress.
progress,
In advance.
in advance,
In arrears.
in arrears.
Very good. Okay, listen. Step by step is an adjective. It means one at a time in a particular order. For
Hmm,
example, we're moving ahead with the project slowly, taking it step by step.
hmm,
Progress is a verb. It means to improve. For example, you have progressed your English now than you did in a few months ago.
hmm,
Advance is a verb. It means to move forward. For
hmm,
example, the reason it's better to advance step by step when learning a foreign language rather than try to progress too quickly is that it's impossible to absorb high level language unless you
hmm.
can use language from lower levels easily and without thinking.
mm,
Advance can also be a noun. It means an improvement or development of something. For
mm,
example, advance in science can make people live longer. In
mm,
advance means ahead of time or before. For
mm,
example, when we book a hotel for next month, we have to pay in advance before they book
mm,
a room for you.
mm, mm,
In arrears is an adverb.
mm.
It is the opposite of in advance.
Oh.
If someone is paid in arrears, they are
Mm,
paid at the end of the period of
mm,
time during which the
mm,
money was earned. For
mm,
example, generally, when people work for a wage, they are paid in arrears. So it means
mm,
they work first and then they get paid.
mm.
Okay, let's practice.
Okay.
Why is it better to advance step by step when learning a foreign language rather than try
Mm,
to progress too quickly? Why
mm,
is it better to advance step by step when learning a foreign language rather
mm,
than try to progress too quickly? The
mm.
reason it's
The
better
reason
to
they it's
advance
better
step
to
by step
advance step by
when
step.
learning a
We're
foreign
learning a
language
foreign
rather
language
than try
rather than
to
try
progress
to
too
progress
quickly
too
is
quickly.
that it's
Is that
impossible
it's
to
impossible
absorb high
to
level
absorb
language
high-level language
unless you can use
unless you can use
language from lower
language
levels
from a lower level
easily and
easily
without
and
thinking.
without thinking.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay, I see.
Very good. Okay, so our reading is at stage 8, paragraph page
Hmm,
776. The
hmm.
last headword was idiom 34. Pull yourself together. Okay, please start at paragraph page 678.
Okay,
Last
I see.
headword benefit, sake, give up.
Mhm. Okay, I see. Benefit, sake, give up. What are the benefits of regular physical exercise? The benefits of regular physical exercise are good health, more energy, etc. When arguing with someone, do you ever suddenly agree with them just for the sake of peace and quiet? Yes. When arguing with someone, uh, I sometimes agree with them just for the sake of peace and quiet.
Mhm.
Do you think it's important for parents who smoke to try to give up smoking for the sake of their children? Yes, I think it's important for parents who smoke to try to give up smoking for the sake of their children. Mixed up. If two people have very similar names, do you sometimes get them mixed up? Yes. If two people have very similar names, I sometimes get them mixed up. Which word am I spelling all mixed up? Chirha. You are spelling the word chair all mixed up. Humor. Do you think a sense of humor is one of the most important parts of a person's character? Yes, I think a sense of humor is one of the most important parts of a person's character. Dress. Do people wear formal dress when they go to a wedding? Yes, people wear formal dress when they go to a wedding. Masterpiece. When discussing painting, who do we mean by the old masters? When discussing painting by the old masters, we mean painters such as Rembrandt,
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 Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, etc.
Mhm,
Can you name me of Shakespeare's masterpieces? Yes, I can name you one of Shakespeare's masterpieces, Hamlet, Macbeth, etc.
mhm.
How long do you think it would take you to master another foreign language or the game of golf? I think it would take me about 2 years to master another foreign language
Very good.
or the game of golf.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and its many uses. So that, so as to, and so on, so many, so far as I know. Now I will say a sentence, and I want you to make a similar sentence with the word so. I had no money for the bus, and consequently, I had to walk home. I had no money for the bus, so I had to walk home.
Okay, very good. So we stop there
Yeah.
for today, but
Okay.
very good, very good. Very fast reading, excellent
Thank you so
listening,
much.
excellent practice for today.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. See you again next lesson.
Thank you so much.
Have
See
a
you
good
next.
day. Bye bye.